Hi, Audi has made a new concept car. They call it Audi Concept C. It's a really weird car. I don't know why they did it. They had previous concept cars. They at least had the Audi's design language. Or they had some actual goals for their future projects. Like this active sphere concept car that actually looks like it can handle all of the terrains that you can drive it on. Now this new concept C just looks like what the 2000s movies predicted the cars would look like in the future. Audi TT is gone. Audi R8 is gone. We have the Audi e-tron GT, but there are still lots of Audi enthusiasts that want an R8 alternative right now. And that car was actually a great advertisement for the Audi brand. You see that car in an Iron Man movie and you just want it. It looks cool, it's a luxury car, it's fast, drives really good. It doesn't even have to be something you want to buy. Maybe you have a family and it doesn't work for you, but it is still a great dream to have. Now this new concept car doesn't look like a dream to me. It looks like Bugatti made a Jaguar car with the Cybertruck team. By the way, you may ask, Umut, this really looks like the Jaguar concept car. Are you sure this is the new Audi concept car? Well, this guy is the Massimo Frescella, who was the part of that Jaguar concept car design team, and then later he is hired by the Audi design team and then they did this car. So if you are seeing the resemblance, that is probably because it was done by the same guy. Well, at least he was part of the team. I really think the metallic look here doesn't work for this car. Here's a regular blue metallic paint on this car, but they instead went for this exposed titanium metal look, and this is not actual exposed metal here. It is a titanium look-alike paint that they painted this car with. It just takes 30 seconds for ChatGPT to create this blue look. I think it really looks better. I don't know if they even tried a different color on this car. My problem with nonsense concept cars is that brands are throwing away their money for nothing. Where did the money come from? It came from customers. Do Audi really think the future will look like this? Just the previous year Jaguar made this car and 99% of the people didn't like it. And this is the only car that the Jaguar released after discontinuing all of their other cars. So what they are left with is just a single car that nobody wants. And as far as I know, they were already financially struggling. So that's really the worst move that you can make in a car brand. This year Audi is announcing lots of new car models, and with every new release they are just losing their design heritage. First we had the Audi A5, which replaced the A4 and A5 previously, and the front bumper has this weird plastics. The rear doesn't even look like an Audi, it looks like a Ford Focus or just any other car. You just name it, it looks like every other car. We have an electric A6 release that really moved away from everything Audi had. Without even the Audi badge here, you can't even tell if this is an Audi car. Then the actual A6 release, which is a great way to just mess up your lineup naming, I guess. The rear end still looks nothing like an Audi to me. And what is this nonsense plastic things at the sides here? Then the Q5 and the Q3, and we just lost everything Audi had as their design. In each new model they have in 2025, the old models just look better. And the interiors are just the same. They lost everything they had as a unique brand. People just wanted them to lose the piano black in the interiors because it gets really dirty with your fingerprints and dust everywhere. It also can look cheap and plasticky if it's in the wrong place. But in their new interiors they still put some piano black around. Also they removed the physical buttons that were practical. They made the screens bigger, which wouldn't have been a problem, but it really feels like I'm on my PC with two big monitors. Like you're not going to make stock market trading there, you don't need that many screens. What is the third one even doing? If you don't order the third screen, it is even worse. There is just blank space there. And overall everyone complained about how they reduced the interior quality in their cars. Even from these images you can see that the steering wheel was a downgrade. Now if we go back to the new Concept C, the front grille is inspired by the Auto Union Type C racer, but I think it's a wrong inspiration. Like that was a really old car. It just doesn't match the current expectations of Audi fans or any other person in the street right now. And they did this cool thing with the lights. They just expand sideways, so the actual headlights are retractable behind the daytime running lights. It looks cool as a technology, but more moving parts mean less durability. I just know that these are going to break over time. Now in this example they don't even preserve any more space. They don't even need to retract because they have their own reserved place there. When they are gone, the space is still here. It's used for nothing. So I don't see the difference between just turning them off or just retracting them to somewhere else. There is no actual value that this brings to the table. Overall, the front face of the car is just the worst part of the car in my opinion. It already looks old to me and it is trying to be something that it is not. Only way this car can actually look cool is if this car was flying. Then I would really appreciate it in the road. I would think that is not a car, that's a jet plane. By the way, I wanted to see this car with the R8's front bumper. Just look at this car, it just looks better. I really think they should have stuck with their own designs. But here's one thing they did right. The interior of this car looks amazing. The material choices, the design, also having physical buttons. They didn't just bring them back, they innovated on them. We have this new rounder buttons on the steering wheel. They look like a cool idea other than maybe just having the left and right direction on the up and down movement. This car also thankfully have a dashboard and speed gauge, which some other cars, Volvo and Tesla, forget to include in their cars sometimes. One small thing that I didn't understand is this dashboard is a screen. I don't know why it has these lights on its sides. Like, what are we lighting up there? Is there something else that I should see? I think that could be just unnecessarily blinding to the driver. Another small thing, Audi, why didn't you bring back the physical buttons for the AC? I can see that you are still using some touch buttons on there. That is the worst part because I don't want to look down while I'm driving Audi. Thank you. By the way, this might be a concept car, but we need to acknowledge it as a release car. Audi designers officially made this car and they published it. This is a multi-billion-dollar company. They are not going to release this if they think this is not fitting to their brand. So since they think this is the future of their brand, we need to talk about its pros and cons before it actually reshapes their new future models. Another thing they did is this retractable screen here. So we all know that infotainment screens are getting bigger and bigger each year, which is also very unnecessary. So I'm glad they used a medium-sized screen here, but it doesn't need to be retractable anymore. Their older models had these retractable screens, which looks cool, but it also can break over time. Also, you need to see some information on that screen anyway. You have your radio or navigation, sometimes car functionality like suspension, drive modes, or efficiency and charge information if it's an EV. Also air conditioning information like degrees. So other than getting out of your car, you are not going to have your screen in the retracted position. And this screen just kind of sticks out too much. I think we handled it better in the previous versions. Most cars just acknowledge that screen is the part of the car now. So I think it's best for us to keep it smaller and also part of the design language of the interior. If it is sticking out like this, of course it is not going to feel like it belongs there. So I just felt like this was a weird decision. It could have been handled very differently. As a regular person, it just feels like it is sticking out too much. Another thing is having no door handles. I get that EVs have more problem with the air resistance. By the way, this is an EV concept. I don't know if I forgot to tell you that. From both sides of the car, from exterior and interior, you have two touch buttons to open the door. One is on the outside pillar here. One is inside on this metallic handle. You have to touch that button. In an accident, this might be a problem. Having no door handles, how is someone going to reach into the car without knowing how to open the door? Also, when picking up a friend, it can be weird. You have to explain them how to open the door, or you have to just open the door yourself. I think Audi handled it better in their other models this year. They still don't have any physical door handle, but they have this little pocket, little indent there to put your hand in. So with the help of sensors, you can still open the door. And at the same time, it is still better for air resistance. To not get trapped in the car, when they have these touch buttons for doors, they also put some physical buttons for emergencies, like when the car power is shut off. So I don't know where they put that physical button here. Maybe you have to rip off some door trim to get there. Also, these air vents look really cool. I really liked it. I would have loved to have this in my car too. But because of the lack of buttons around it, I'm going to assume that both the airflow and the direction is controlled by this screen probably, which is also another nonsense thing. It is very unnecessary to do that. I think the side profile looks great other than the front of the car, and the rear end just looks bad. I don't know what to tell you. This just looks like a high schooler drew a car for the first time in their iPad, and it somehow looks like the old Nokia phones. I don't know how to tell you, but it just looks like them. Of course, there were some YouTubers went there and saw the actual car with their own eyes. This is not just some 3D models, they actually made the physical car. When they make a concept car like this, I can understand that it is not drivable yet. Maybe it doesn't have an engine yet, but we should at least see where they think the engine is going to go. I couldn't find if the engine is in the front or in the back. This car has a retractable top, so the middle part of the rear end houses that retractable roof, but they didn't show if the very rear end is the trunk or if this car has some front boot space. If you're designing a car and showing it to the world, I think you should also show the trunk space or the engine space at least. Doesn't that include it in the car design? Like, do they first design the car and then put the engine later? What if the engine doesn't fit there? Anyway, I think I talked enough about this car. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think about the new Audi designs? What do you think about this concept car? Did you like it? Would you buy one? If you liked the video, please subscribe, and thank you for listening.